job. You did. Yes, you did. Do you actually think you built that?
No, someone else did that.
Oh, well, hello there. How are you today? Good afternoon. This is Uncle Bryan's Stories Worth Repeating, and I'm so glad you've joined me today. Do you realize that Uncle Bryan has been telling stories around the world in different places for many years now, and making lots of faces and sound effects and all sorts of things. So thanks for joining me. We are glad you're here. Now, today was the day I told you about that we were going to choose a name for my wonderful little orangutan friend. Here he is. Do you think he's the builder of this? What do you think? Probably not. Well, so we've narrowed it down to 5 names that I would like you to vote on and to give me your ideas from these 5 names. So we have, and we'll have him trying to test out different ones here so you can see what he looks like, see what you think he is. What kind of a name would be good for this orangutan from the country I'll tell you about when we name him. Okay, so one of the names was Georgie. There's Georgie. Isn't that kind of a cool name? Or what about Mr. Finnegan? Finnegan. Yes. Or how about Oliver? Oliver. What do you think of that one? Or here we have one that's kind of a mix of 2 different names that were sent to us, called Rango. Hey, Rango. What do you think of that one, Rango? And then finally, one from his country called Otong. Otong, that's a name from the country that he's from, but a different place from where he's from. So those are the 5: Georgie, Finnegan, Oliver, Rango, and Otong. Please let me know in your comments which ones you think would be the best name for our orangutan friend. But today, I'm going to tell you a fun story. A very fun story. And I hope you are ready for it. It's a strange story with a strange name, which I thought was a good one for this one too. And the name is about a boy I'm not going to tell you yet. So I want you to imagine a peaceful day in the Cooper household where big sister Connie is sitting there reading a book and little baby sister is playing and building some beautiful blocks. And so they're reading and everything's quiet and nice, and all of a sudden it's 4:30 in the afternoon and they hear la 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 la. And Connie looks at little baby sister and they said, "Oh no, he's coming." And sure enough, in a few moments, all of a sudden, the door burst open, and in came, boink, 8-year-old Bimbo. That was his name, Bimbo, boisterous Bimbo. And the moment he's up and slammed the door, all of a sudden, a vase fell from the side of the wall and crashed to the ground. And he was like, "Oh, wow." And he looks at his sister, and little sister says, "Oh no, Bimbo's home." And Connie says, "That was not very good. I'm going to tell Mom that you broke that vase." And he says, "Oh, what do you mean? It wasn't my fault. I just opened the door. Hey." And he ran over and he grabbed Connie's book. He says, "What you doing? You don't need to read this book. Come on, let's play together." He threw the book, and little baby sister, she started to cry. "Mommy!" And Bimbo's like, "That wasn't that nice anyway. Let's play marbles. Hey, come on, let's all play marbles." And he's making all this noise, and they, all of a sudden, Sister Connie got angry and grabbed one of the blocks and threw it at boisterous Bimbo. And just about hit him, but he ducked right away, and it flew right over, and it hit a picture on the wall, and that fell down and crashed to the ground. And with all that noise, all of a sudden, Mother came in. The door opened up, and Mother stood there with her hands on her hips and said, "What is going on? I can hear this noise all the way out in the backyard." And immediately, Connie said, "It's him." And little baby sister said, "It's him. He broke my glass." you. We'll give you a name, but it was little baby sister built this. Actually, the big brother over there behind the camera built it. He did a good job, didn't he, boys and girls? But the little baby sister's crying. He broke my castle! And she's crying and crying. And Mother looked at Bimbo. Said, Bimbo, we need to go upstairs and have a talk. Now, boys and girls, you probably already know that when a mommy and a daddy say you need to go upstairs and have a talk, especially back in those old days, that didn't always mean talk. But, so they went upstairs, and the mommy had a special kind of something that Uncle Arthur talks about in the book here, where she helped to help Mr. Bimbo's mind move from thinking everything, la 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 la, all these crazy things, to a little bit more, to another part of his body that would help him to think a little bit. It's called a spanking. And after the spanking, he was kind of sad, and he said, but Mama, she said, Bimbo, listen to me. You don't have to bounce around and be like that to where the people don't even want to have you come home. You can be nice to people. But I don't even know what to do. I just come in home and I have all this energy. And she says, Bimbo. Maybe she should have thought about naming him that. But she said, Bimbo, you don't have to do that. I want you to think from now on, when you're walking home from school, that when you turn the corner to get into the house, that you decide that you will be kind to people. And not just run around and do your things and destroy stuff, but that you will choose to be a kind person and to love your sisters and to be gentle. I'll try, Mommy. And he's probably saying that because he could still feel the conversation they had before that. Well, he thought he'd try, and he thought about it. And the very next day, as he's coming home from school, blah, 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 all these things. As soon as he got close to the house, he remembered. Oh, yes. And he quietly walked in the house. He didn't bother anyone. And he didn't slip on the marbles either because they picked them all up, which is good. But I have to be careful because those can hurt. And so he slipped into the house quietly, and he leaned over the couch, and he saw his sister Connie was sitting there reading again. And instead of taking the book and throwing it and being rude, he gave her some of his candy that he had saved from school. She's like, oh, well, thank you, Bimbo. He says, yes, I didn't eat it all, so you can have some. She said, wow, thank you. She didn't know what to think. And then he quietly slipped into the kitchen, and no one saw him, and he looked, and he saw that there was some dishes in the kitchen sink that he could clean. And so he quietly washed the dishes. And then when he finished that, he played nicely with his little baby sister, and they began to build something. Now you can help. Come on, help. And they began to build something. It's not a very big help. And you know what happened? Every day, well, let's be real clear. Not every day. Sometimes boisterous Bimbo forgot what he was supposed to do, and he came home, blah, 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 and he'd have to be reminded. Sister Connie or baby sister say, Bimbo, don't act that way. And he began to change his habits to where he began to think about others and to care about others and to be nice and kind, so that in their house it changed. From when people would hear him coming, they'd say, oh no, here comes boisterous Bimbo guarding his stuff, be careful. To where now they said, hooray, Bimbo's coming home and he'll play with us. And it changed him completely, having that one very important conversation with Mommy in that day. Now, boys and girls, I imagine that right now everyone's all cooped up in their houses. Some people might be having their patience running on a little bit short, and people are getting kind of fussy. Let's do our best to be kind and patient and to help others and to bless others and not to be all big, loud, and noisy and boisterous like boisterous Bimbo, but let's change to become happy and friendly. Big brothers, big sisters, little sisters, and be big helpers for mom and dad. Because do you realize? Right now is a hard time for mommies and daddies too. Some of them are losing their jobs. Some of them are having to cut back on their hours. We need to be praying for each other and encouraging and not causing unnecessary trouble. So that's a classic story from Uncle Arthur's Bedtime Stories. Thanks so much for joining me. And please make your choice for a name for my good friend here. Is it going to be Georgie or Finnegan or Oliver or Rango or Otong? Let me know either with a comment or a message, and we'll look forward to telling you that real soon. Have a wonderful day, boys and girls. We'll talk to you later. Uncle Bryan says bye-bye. See you later.